Some days I'm barely keeping my head above water. I finally realized that it's hurting my mental health. To get back to enjoying life again, I needed to get help. Discover how other women veterans like me have learned to thrive after military service by taking care of themselves and their mental health. Visit maketheconnection.net/womenveterans.
Hey, look how cheap this one is.
That's a counterfeit.
So what?
So what? Your skin lotion could have something scary in it, like antifreeze or other poisons.
No way. That's creepy and sick.
Yeah, that's why we need to know what's inside.
To find out more about how counterfeits can cause real harm to you and your family, visit ncpc.org/goforreal. Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the United States Patent and Trademark Office.
If you want to support Jazz 90.1 a lot, but your budget says only a little will work, there is a way. It's called the Jazz 90.1 Jazz-O-Matic membership. You can support Jazz 90.1 with a monthly gift of $10 or more, while enjoying the many great thank you gifts that we offer. Jazz 90.1 will deduct that amount automatically every month, and should your circumstances change, you can cancel at any time. Support Jazz 90.1 the way you want to, without bruising your budget. Jazz-O-Matically. For more information on becoming Jazz-O-Matic, call 966-5299 or pledge online at jazz901.org.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads. It's our safety.
Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
If you've had the coronavirus, you've got a lot of fight in you.
And you're in a special position to help us fight back.
The plasma in your blood can literally save lives.
But we need to act fast.
Please donate plasma now. Please donate.
Donate. Donate.
Donate now.
You fought for your life. Now, let's take the fight to COVID-19. Go to thefightisinuS.org to find out how to donate.
Your smartphone just got a bit smarter. Text your computer questions now on our new text line. Text 205-8887. That's 205-8887.
And now, a check of your Jazz 90.1 weather forecast.
Saturday will be a 50-50 kind of day. Not entirely a washout, but you will be dodging a few showers and a couple of thundery downpours as well. We'll find some peaks of sun, especially into the afternoon. The high temperature near 80. Breezy into tonight with some partial clearing developing. Does turn cooler. The overnight low in the upper 50s. Clouds and a shower off Lake Ontario early Sunday will be followed by intervals of sunshine. The high near 70. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
And currently right now we got cloudy skies, 78 degrees out at the airport, and 82 here at member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Hi, this is Phil Dodd. Please join me weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 right here on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And at 36 minutes after the hour, we are Soundbites. And we were talking about a text from Will in Hampton, PA, in VA, Hampton, Virginia, about a Dell Latitude D620. It is indeed a 64-bit processor. It is a Core 2 Duo. It is capable of 64-bit work. It's not going to be fast. If you want to put something like Windows 10 on it, it's going to be slow. It'll run if you've got at least 2 gigs of RAM. 4 would be way better. But it will run, but it's going to be slow.
It uses the 65 nanometer process, and right now we're on 7 nanometer.
Right.
That was a long time ago.
We should also mention that Steve's Mac spontaneously rebooted.
But it picked a good time to do it during the sponsorship break.
Right. So those of you who suddenly stopped watching the YouTube stream, you can restart it and you'll see it again. It's now
there's now a second stream on YouTube.
Right, part 2. So you'll see that in just a minute. 3 of you have figured that out already. But yeah, it spontaneously rebooted. It is an SSD, so it quickly rebooted.
Yeah.
All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Gerald from Rochester, New York. Hiya, Gerald. What's up? Gerald? Hold on,
Hello?
Gerald. Oh, there you are.
Hello.
What's up?
Yes, I have an old laptop running Windows Vista, and I don't use it very much, but I have some pictures on there that I want to download to a Toshiba hard drive. And it tells me import pictures. Would that actually take all the pictures from the laptop and put it on the hard drive, or just make copies of that?
That's usually the other way. When you import from the computer in the computer, it goes from a camera into the computer. You want to drag the pictures from the computer to the external hard drive.
What program is telling you to import?
Let me see here. It's Windows. It's let me see. I can't see it right now, but that's one of the options: is import pictures to the hard drive. I just
Right. It thinks you have a camera connected, and that's one of the options is to import those pictures to that hard drive on the computer.
Right, so that takes them from whatever that external source is, and then imports them into that old Vista machine.
You want to look for an export command.
Are you on the old Vista machine?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So import means put them on the Vista machine. Export would take them off the Vista machine, copy them actually, from the Vista machine to the other machine.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. I
Yeah.
haven't been able to find that yet.
If you just open two windows, so one window shows your pictures folder and the other window shows the external Toshiba drive, you can just do a select all and drag.
Okay, select all and drag. Okay.
That's the easiest way to do it.
And then wait.
And then wait.
Yeah, it'd be a while. Not many on there, but a few. One other thing, is there a place where you can take old computers, have it recycled? Like this laptop I'm probably going to get rid of soon. I don't use it anymore, and just get it recycled someplace.
A lot of towns have their own electronic recycling. Check with your town. Check with your garbage company. Sometimes they also do electronic recycling. And probably the big one in town is called E-Waste. They are in Victor at the corner of 96 and 251. And there's a lot of other places around town that will accept drop-offs. I know MicroWorks on Ellens Creek takes drop-offs for e-waste. So depending on where you are, you can go to the e-waste website and they'll find a drop-off location near you.
Okay, so you can drop it off and there's no charge for that?
Generally, no. If it's a CRT, then there is a charge. That's about the only thing they charge for.
I see. Okay.
And,
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
And some of the younger people don't know what a CRT is. What did we add up once? Between the three of us, we have over 100 years of computer experience, which is interesting because computers weren't around 100 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, 100 years ago, a computer was a person who computed.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we're the old guard, or the old farts, I suppose.
Somebody
One or
was
the other.
mentioning that on one of the podcasts I was listening to. With
Before you do that,
yeah.
please give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll free 1-800-790-0415. Or text us at 585-209-8887.
So with Apple moving from Intel processors to their own silicon, younger people, mostly kids that have been only programming for a couple of years now, are going to have a much easier transition because they probably are already using Swift, the modern programming environment, and don't have decades of legacy Carbon and Cocoa code that they'll have to convert to the new processor.
Right.
But if you're even older, more longtime programmer, you remember the switch from the Motorola chip to the Intel chip, and we went through this whole thing 20 years ago. And then 20 years before that, we went from the Apple II to the Mac,
Right.
and everything had to get so this
From the
is
6502
to the 68,000, yeah, and then from the 68,000 to the PowerPC, and then PowerPC to Intel, and now Intel to Apple Silicon. So it's our fifth major transition. So if you've been in this for the 40 years we have been, it's
another transition big deal.
Big deal, yeah.
Mhm.
But it's kind of funny that the younger kids are going to have an easier time of it because they haven't been in it that long.
That's right. When we did it the first time, at least, we had to learn a whole new compiler,
Yeah.
whole new languages. If you were one of those people who've been programming in 6502 assembler, you were
Yep.
done.
Yeah.
Well, not to 6800, but
That wasn't too bad from the code level, yeah.
But moving to the PowerPC and then the Intel platform, you were learning a whole new base code structure, which is why people went from that to things like C, which all you had to do was buy a new compiler.
Yeah. I remember when OOPS was the biggest hot new thing.
Oh, yeah.
Object-oriented programming.
Right.
Yeah, I did a lot of Pascal,
Yep.
PL1, Cobalt, Fortran.
Actually, I'm doing a lot of programming in Python right now.
Yeah.
Why not? It runs on everything.
Well, that's
And,
that's the critical thing now. Back in the day, there weren't that many computers to pick from,
Right.
and platforms and different operating systems, and just the different features that are on a computer now. Back when we were first starting out, you were lucky to have a hard drive in it. You usually had 2 5.25 floppy drives, a monochrome monitor. You didn't have a mouse.
Yes, my favorite are the snobs. Well, you're programming in Python? That's not a compiled language. I have a 3 gigahertz processor. I have 8 of them. But trust me, it's not going to take that long to interpret. I don't care. Oh, and are you programming in PHP? That's a horrible language. A billion websites run on PHP.
Yep.
Who cares?
There are still, though...
It makes it easy for me to work, and it gets it done.
And
I don't need any more than that.
You're doing it for yourself, not for them.
That's right.
So what's the...
Even when I'm writing code for other people, they don't care. They want the results.
That's all they care about is the
That's all they
bottom
care
line.
about.
As long as they can have a program or whatever come from you, and it does exactly what they want, customer's happy. They don't care what's under the hood.
I wrote some code for a guy who used to take 4 days to compile some information. I did it in PHP so he'd have a web interface, which means you could do it from anywhere at any time. And it took, I think, 38 seconds or something. I forget the exact number, but it was well less than a minute.
Yeah.
He was thrilled. If I had written it in something else, like hand-coded assembler, could I have gotten it faster? Yes. Why?
Although there still are lots of jobs for COBOL programmers. Because
COBOL will never go out of style.
all of the government mainframes have been running for 40 years. I remember I saw a meme going around. A guy got turned down for a job because it required 5 years' experience in this programming language. He created that programming language 3 years ago.
Java. It was Java. It was John, I can't think of his last name. He created Java, and I got a call from a headhunter, said, I need 5 years experience in Java. I said, the guy who wrote it didn't write it 5 years ago.
Yeah.
There's no one, I don't know who put your specs together, but they're an idiot.
Yeah. The language was created 3 years ago. No
Right.
one has 5 years. And the guy that created the language got turned down for the job.
Right. Right. It gets ridiculous. It just gets ridiculous. Snobs, well, this is a much better language. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I made a lot of money writing it in this language. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm good now. And yeah, COBOL is still a useful language. And,
Yep.
and my students used to ask me, what programming language should I learn? COBOL.
Yeah.
If you'll never be a superstar, but you will always have
Be
a
in
job.
demand. You'll be in demand.
Make
because-
it your second language and keep it up to date. There will come a time in your life when somebody's going to say, we will pay you a metric bucket load of cash
That
to
and
convert this.
PL1.
Right.
They're so interleaved.
Right. Right.
But like you said, if you know COBOL, that's what I first learned was the COBOL, and then picked up the PL1.
Right.
And it was like, oh yeah, it just the way it changes some syntax and all that, no big deal.
Right.
And I hopped on ZipRecruiter, and COBOL programmers are going for up to $150,000 a year.
Yep.
And it can be remote because you're just coding.
Yes.
All right, we've got another question here. It says, looking at downloads, new version, Super Anti-Spyware X from superantispyware.com and getting message super anti-spyware can't be downloaded securely from Chrome browser.
Okay, that is possible. If you've blocked cookies and all kinds of other things, then yes, you will get a message like that. But we all try to lock down our browsers, but there are programs that there are companies that just don't like that. So, for example, Forbes, I run an anti-ad program, an ad blocker, and I can't get onto the Forbes website. Yep. When I whitelisted them and essentially turned off the ad blocker, I'm on Forbes with no problem.
And get infected almost immediately.
And probably, well, I only go there on my Chromebook, so do what you want. It's not going to help you any. But yeah, so that certainly is a possibility. They want you to turn off ad blockers and cookie blockers and all of your blockers.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, actually, Forbes specifically did have that problem. I think it was last year. There was a malware ad on their website, and you turn off the ad blocker, and you got the ad and got infected immediately.
Yeah, well, I don't run Windows anymore, so that's not a problem. And I really only go there on my Chromebook.
Your Windows may be infected. Call this phone number.
Yeah, I told you. You were here. I got that on my Chromebook.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was precious.
That was fun. All you can do, you're on a Chromebook. You just laugh. You just laugh and move on.
But that's the it is it.
Someone in the YouTube chat, Smooth Jazz Axe. All right, that's nice name. Said Pascal was hard, but Fortran will never go out of style either.
No, you're absolutely right. Smooth Jazz Axe. I like that a lot. Pascal was very hard. I had the Borland Pascal, which was one of the first ones available for any sort of home machine. It was hard to learn, absolutely hard to learn.
Well, see, I didn't have any problems with it.
Yeah, no, it was difficult to run because it was a whole thing that you had to do.
Well,
that
top-down
right.
language.
I mean, it was, and basically you could, you would just type the word basic and you were in basic, but Pascal you had to load and do all
had to load your
stuff, which was unusual for many people.
Load it and then compile it and then run it.
Right.
I remember my COBOL class, we used to have a little competition about how many errors you could generate on your first compile. And I think I won with every single line generated an error because I forgot what the leading semicolon, the first character.
Right.
All the way down.
So every single
line.
When that was back in the day where you submitted your job and then they handed you back the paper. When he comes back with a giant stack of fanfold paper.
A friend of mine used to work at the U of R in their computer lab, in their computer science department, the computer center. And I would go and visit him at night because I don't sleep. And we would be chit-chatting away, and people would come up to get their stuff. And you'd hand them the giant stack of paper, and then you'd hand them a box with their cards in it. And we had a box of old dead cards. And he'd go to hand it to them and fumble it and drop it all over the floor just to watch people faint.
Well, it probably wouldn't matter too much because if their printout was that thick, something was wrong anyway.
Something was wrong anyway.
That's probably how you ran it, all out of order.
Right. I believe this is Caledonia, and we're talking to Marshall. Hi, Marshall. What's up?
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Okay. I volunteer weekly at our local museum, and during the COVID situation, I've been entering new accessions for the museum from home. But there are a couple of things that I can't do from remote that I can do in the office. For example, I can't open a file that ordinarily is a Word document because the version of Word that we have at the museum is something like Word 365, or it's a subscription one.
Right.
So it's not installed on the machine, and the software I want is looking around on the machine for an installed version of that and can't find it. So it tells me, I'm sorry, you can't open this. And a related problem is I also can't activate email because it's looking for an installed email program, and what we use is Gmail.
Right. Okay. All right. So there are things you can do to mitigate that. Can you actually get at the Word document, but it will not open?
That's correct.
So if you were to try something like LibreOffice, that may be able to open that document.
If you can't install Word on your computer or don't have the license for it, then you need another program that can read Word files.
Right, and that.
Well, we do have, I guess, technically whatever a license is may be the question here, but we have a subscription to it through a nonprofit organization to use Word in the same way that I use Word on any other PC or
right.
Mac.
Then in that case, you should be able to get hold of them and download a copy with a license key to put on your machine. The other thing you could try to do is if they have a VPN, a virtual private network, into the museum's network.
No, we don't.
Okay. Then what you would need to do is get a copy of Office 365
Well, if
for
you don't
your
have
home machine.
if you don't have a VPN, how are you remotely connecting?
I'm using AnyDesk. Is that a VPN?
What?
AnyDesk.
I don't know that one.
I don't know AnyDesk, but theoretically.
Oh, it's remote desktop. So you're not running anything on your computer at all. You are. Yeah, it's a remote desktop. It's as if you're sitting in front of the computer at work. So it doesn't have to open anything on your computer. It's opening it on the other end.
So it should be able to
sending
open
you the screen.
Right. If you're not, if you download the program to your computer and try to open it, you will need the application on your computer. If you try to open it on that computer inside the AnyDesk window, it should open right on your computer at work.
Well, that's exactly my problem. It doesn't.
What happens when you try? What's the error message?
Well, here, let me try it right now.
All right, hold on. We're down to our last minute. This always happens when somebody calls it at the last minute. Do us a favor and write down the error messages that you get, what you tried to do, what error messages you get. Leave a post in soundbytes.org and we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thanks for being there.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
And if it's a nonprofit, they probably don't have an IT staff.
Yeah, we run into this so much. I mean, I hate doing that to folks, but it's the same old story. They wait until the last minute, and I can't do anything about it. I hate to shut them off, but it is what it is.
So,
we were on for 2 hours, folks.
Yeah, when people call it the last minute, it's
So theoretically,
very tough
remote
thing.
desktop is a window on your computer that just looks at the other computer. Everything you're doing is at the other computer, so it's as if you're sitting in front of the other computer. It shouldn't matter that you're on your computer.
Messages are.
Yeah.
And this may be something somebody has to sit with him and look at.
Yeah.
All right, that music tells us we're done for another week. I want to thank everybody who called in. Sorry, Marshall. Call in earlier next week. Write down those things. We'll talk to you about it. Put it in the forums, and we'll see what we can do about that. But we are done for another week. I want to thank Dave Enright, Steve Ray. I'm Nick Francesco. You've been listening to the longest running computer show in the known universe. That's Soundbites. I'm truly great and truly grateful to you that we can continue with your generous support to be member supported. We will be off for a week, but we will see you next week right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Be good to one another, will you? We will see you in just 166 hours. Have fun.
These are the sounds of a dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America